First of all, here we are flung into the world, and we have to ask some questions about it. The first one is, how did we get a world? How did we get a universe? Now, for a couple of centuries, there was a kind of scientific answer to this question that seemed to support atheism. Namely, the universe has always existed. There's always been a universe. There's no reason to ask how we got it. It's always been there. The universe is forever. Now, one of the most important scientific discoveries of the 20th century is that this notion that the universe is forever is factually false. The universe is not forever. The universe had a beginning. In physics, it's called the Big Bang. In a sense, first there was nothing, and then there was a universe. Now, if you think about this for a moment, this idea that first there was nothing and then there was a universe actually was stated before the scientists figured it out. The writers of the first book of Genesis, a bunch of Hebrews, or Jews, they said, first there was nothing and then there was a universe. And interestingly, these ancient Hebrews, if you ask them, well, did you do any scientific experiments to figure it out? They would say, no, we didn't do any experiments. God told us. This is how it happened. And you might say, well, yeah, but this is common to every other religion. They say the same thing. But actually, no. In most other religions in the world, the idea is that a god, or sometimes gods, fashioned the universe from some other existing stuff. Gods took some clay, or they took some pre-existing material, and like carpenters or architects, they built the universe. But the Jews were the first to say, in effect, no, the universe was made, as the Greeks said, ex nihilo, out of nothing. And what I'm saying is that today, modern science has discovered that that is basically true. Now, not only did the universe have a beginning, but very interestingly, space and time also had a beginning. By the way, this is important because space and time, scientists used to believe that space and time are eternal, which actually makes a certain kind of common sense. If somebody says, what happened a million years ago? Well, there was 1,000,001 years ago before that. Any time that you can posit in the past, there was the day before, the year before that. So time appears to stretch indefinitely, and space also. If Dan Panetti were to tell you, well, you know, space, it kind of comes to an end at that wall, you would say, well, but what's on the other side of that wall? More space. So space and time appear infinite. But modern science tells us no. Space and time are properties of our universe, which means that beyond our universe, no space, no time. Christianity has for many centuries maintained this idea of eternity, which is the idea of a God who exists outside of space and time. And what I'm saying is that this idea, which seemed a little bit crazy, very difficult to explain 100 years ago, now makes complete sense within modern physics.